Oh. Not kidding. I just got my second COVID shot. It was like an hour ago. I'm okay. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everybody, today we're looking at this amazing statue of the movie-based version of Joker, where Joaquin Phoenix played him in the recent film, The Joker. Now, if you haven't seen this film, a little bit of background. So first of all, Joaquin Phoenix, in my opinion, one of the greatest actors of our generation, played the Joker. He's coming back around. Or more specifically, Joaquin Phoenix played Arthur Fleck. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, it is loosely based on DC Comics. So it takes place in Gotham. Thomas Wayne plays an integral role. And, Joker's origin stories were never fully explained. And the way they did it here, I wasn't a big fan as it relates to DC. However, with that being said, I thought this was an unbelievable movie. In fact, I think it's one of the best movies that came out in the last 20 years. It's really focused around Arthur Fleck, who is really just up against every single societal obstacle you can imagine, so he suffers from a number of mental issues because of that, or maybe he did inherently. Nobody ever really knows the origins of mental issues, and in turn, he ended up turning into the Joker, and I do believe they are making a Joker too, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually bring Batman into it, if he becomes the Joker from DC Comics that we know and love. Nonetheless, it's an amazing movie. I'll probably watch it again this weekend, but I was really impressed with his performance, as I am in many of his movies, which is why I got this statue from Prime One Studios. So this was manufactured by Prime One Studios in collaboration with a company called Blitzway, who specializes in movie pieces. This is 1/3 scale, meaning that a real-life version of this would be 3 times bigger. Very stoked to have in my collection, despite the fact that this is a huge edition size, which we'll talk about when we get to value. But we're going to do a traditional review on this statue, and Prime One Studios, Blitzway, especially their collaborations, they rarely disappoint, and you can already tell that that is not the case here. In fact, they did such a good job on this. They didn't offer very many switch outs. They said, hey, this is what it's going to be like, and it's going to be amazing, and you're going to love it. And you know what? I do. But let's kick off this review, and we're going to start with concept of this piece, which is one of the great parts of this statue. So what they've done here with the concept is they've taken a conceptual part that's an iconic part of the movie. So this is towards the end when Arthur Fleck just decides, you know what, I'm crazy and I'm going to be crazy. I believe it's right before he started murdering people, is I'm going to dance and go down these giant stairs. Like I said, very iconic part of the movie. Some of the switch outs that he has, he doesn't really change his position, but really emphasizes that dancing. I'm tired of being depressed. I'm tired of being sad. I'm loving life. So on these stairs, on the bottom, on mine particularly, you see a whole bunch of crap. While there aren't a lot of switch outs, there's a lot of proximity pieces that you can pretty much place anywhere you want or place nowhere. So it shows the steps. That's the iconic part of this movie. He's standing on top. He is in what we call mixed media, which means that he's wearing fabric, which typically I don't like on my 1/3 scale statues, but I think it does well here. And we'll talk about that more with paint and sculpt. And you see these conceptual pieces from the movie, whether it's some of the magic tricks he tried to use. It shows some of the hardships that he went through with his diary and the cracked sign. He's standing there very joyful, very happy. You can tell not only because of his pose, but because of his awesome portrait. And I love the portrait option they chose. So they chose him with the makeup on, which didn't really happen until later in the movie fully, and his full transformation to Joker. And the likeness, in my opinion, is very good. It's about 95% or so. Not as good as I expected it to be honest with you. I expected 100%, but I think it's still done extremely, extremely well. And it just captures every part of the movie. Even on the back here, you have some trash bags, you have a rat, a little bit of a sewer. I think that's very symbolic of a lot of the negative parts of his life in the movie. So I love everything about it. I think the concept's a 4 out of 5. They took the iconic part of the movie where he turned into Joker. I love the pose, believe it or not, even though I hate dancing poses, really. But let's jump into design here. And I think the best way to kick it off is to look at the unboxing and assembly. Average size statue box if you ask me. The art box was pretty cool. Pictures on every side that were a little bit different. Here's one picture of the Joker. On one of the sides it was a picture of a television set with the show that Robert De Niro was obviously the host of. There were holes in the styrofoam, which I'm not used to seeing, a little bit different. Standard Blitzway with the straps, a little bit of an instruction booklet that not only tells you how to assemble it, but a few other things about it, kind of cool. It was 2 layers. You can see the first layer right here with Joker and some of the additional accessories. And then the second layer was the base and the sign with the railing. We'll get dimensions really quick. So the widest part is the bottom of the base here is a little under 13.5 inches, or maybe a little bit over. Deepest part is about 16 inches to the point up here. And then the tallest part is his head, which is right over 28 inches, just over. Now I had a few issues unboxing. So these trash bags actually broke off. See, I can move it right here. So this is the picture you saw when I unboxed it. Not really a big deal. Not only is it only in the back, but it only left these little marks right here, which I can definitely get over. His hands have some switch out options. The left hand can kind of have a semi-open palm, almost like he's enjoying life, he's loving it, or he's saying, come on, get some, baby. Or more of a closed fist where he can actually be holding a number of things. Maybe you can have him hold his cigarette, maybe he can hold his card, which we'll talk more about. And the left hand has those same exact features. So here's the open, semi-opened fist. And then here's the one holding the card. And you can be holding nothing, of course. And you can mix and match, especially with all the proximity pieces. So let's look at those. First, he has his magic wand that blooms out flowers. He has the handgun he used, and kind of an interesting note on this, the chamber actually does spin. He has pieces of the broken sign. He has the clown mask, which you can also make him wear. So here he is wearing it, but I don't know why you'd hide the beautiful sculpt of his face. Then there's some photographs. So here's a photograph of Thomas Wayne. And then the other one, if I recall correctly, I haven't watched this since it came out. Like I said, I want to watch it again this weekend. I think it's a picture of his mother that Thomas Wayne gave to him. Because in the movie, if you haven't seen it yet, he fully believes he's Thomas Wayne's child. It becomes unclear whether he is or isn't. And again, I might totally just not remember the movie at all. And for any fanboys out there, you bought a $1,300 statue and you don't remember parts of the movie? Ooh, hashtag burn. You see his diary is another proximity piece. A rat. A cigarette. And his bag. And then here's a close-up of his card. And if you haven't seen the movie, this is a card that he gives to people when he starts laughing uncontrollably to let them know he has a condition. So if you haven't seen the movie, you probably thought my intro was pretty stupid. And some of you that saw the movie probably thought that too. Now the other thing with the design we talked about, like his clothes are actually mixed media or fabric. Now there are posable wires in the bottom of his jacket here. So I think that was really smart by Prime One Studios. They're not super sturdy. They do have a little bit of room to actually pose it how you see fit. All the seam lines are covered by that mixed media, by the fabric, so I think that's very smart. So overall, I think if you're going to use every proximity piece, it's almost too much. But of course, that's up to the person displaying it. And what I like about that is each piece is truly unique. Where you put the pieces, which pieces you put out, which pieces you don't. But I think the design's a 4 out of 5. I think it's done very well. Props to Prime 1 and Blitzway. Now we're going to dive into the paint and sculpt. Now keep in mind there's not a lot to look at, really only his hands, head, and the base, because the rest is covered by the fabric, but we'll take a look at the fabric as well. All right, so let's start on that portrait. Like I said, I think they're pretty close. First of all, the makeup, I like it a lot. It's done really well and really clean, which we typically don't see it very clean for that long in the movie. He does experiment with it a little bit, if I believe correctly. I don't come back to that, but I love the hair. I love the green shading. I like the waves, the strands, the different highlights of green. And I like where the makeup does connect to the regular skin. I think the skin colors and some of those variations they used in there look great. And then you can kind of see the makeup fading a little bit. Really well done on that. His teeth are really good, but if you look really close, it's hard to tell on the camera. The gaps in them aren't clearly defined like they should be. So I think that's a little bit of a miss. The eyes are fantastic. Really incredible. So different angles, I think a few angles do take you to the 100% of Joaquin Phoenix, but every once in a while it's a little bit off. I like the fabric, good quality. I like how, the vest is on top of the shirt and the real buttons, that's really impressive. Or the zippers, and this movie took place back in the 20th century, so long ago. So I think the style is very close to the movie. It probably is exactly on the movie based on the licensors, but looks really good. The shoes look fantastic. So the strings right here are also mixed media. They're not sculpted, but I love the shine on the shoes, the colors they used. The props, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on these, but they look good overall. I mean, some of the tiny detail, like this notebook, I think it's a little bit oversized to kind of give you an idea. And the sign, I'm not sure on, and you don't have all the parts of the sign. Rat looks a little toyish, a little plasticky. Same with the sewer over here. The concrete itself on the base is nice. I like the old rustic feel of it. Like I said, I think it's decently accurate to that movie. And almost this sewer pipe type railing. I don't remember staring at the railing as he was jumping down it, but you can see the mortar in between the bricks. Looks good. These trash bags, you saw them a little bit earlier, they look fantastic. They look real. I like that shine on them. And again, I kind of like the conceptual feel that it has. But you see some of the stone broken apart. Really nice. And on some of the props, like the cigarette looks fantastic. Even the burning embers there, or the faded pictures, that's really impressive. The mask. And as I was taking pictures, I realized this mask reminds me of the Rob Zombie Halloween. I think the kid wore that same mask, or a mask very similar. Flowers look okay. Obviously they're fake, which they are a fake prop to start with, so. So overall, I think there's a lot of cool stuff on here. It's not perfect. Definitely a few areas of minute opportunity to get better. But overall, I think it's a pretty impressive piece. Very stoked to have it in my collection. Gun looks a little fake too. We didn't look at that, but little bit of a plastic feel on it. And that's just another option how you can display them. All right, so paint. Really well done. I like it a lot. The parts of him we can see are fantastic. So I think that overall, I think the paint's a 4 out of 5 on this. And I think the sculpt follows a lot of the same track. It's done really well. The hands, I love how crippled and old they look. Like I said, he was very, very skinny in this. He must have lost like 60, 70 pounds. Maybe I need to find out what he was doing. Of course, if they were going to pay me $30 million or $50 million or however much he made to be in a movie, that'd be a little bit of an incentive to lose weight. But I think the sculpt it's not a perfect sculpt because I think the likeness, like I said, is about 95% there. I think it's a 4 out of 5, which is still way above average. Let's talk about value really quick. Now, kind of a controversial value on this. Not only was it $1,300, but they made over 2,600 of these, I believe. 2,600, which is a very, very high edition size for Prime 1 Studios or Blitzway, especially with their 1/3 DC pieces. Now granted, this is more of a museum masterline movie piece and a collaboration with Blitzway, but still that's quite a bit. I don't think the value's there, frankly. I think it's done really well, but we're used to getting Prime 1 Studios 1/3 pieces that are sometimes even a little bit more elaborate than this for $200-300 cheaper. Plus, not to mention shipping and taxes and all that. So I think the value at best is, I think it's a 2 out of 5 because they made so many. Now, many people love the movie, and obviously some people didn't like it as well. I think that adds or takes away from the X factor and the value, to be frank. If I didn't love the movie so much, I probably wouldn't be digging the statue so much, and I may not have bought it. A lot of collectors, they're very true. They have to love the source content. I don't have to love the source content. I could think a character is unbelievably cool looking. For example, I think a lot of Alien and Predator pieces are like that, where the movies aren't the best, but the creatures look amazing. I don't think this has the X factor, but I think we're going to fall into a 4 out of 5 overall on this piece. Definitely amazing to have in my collection. I'm a big fan, and I can't wait to see what he looks like next to all the other Prime 1 movie pieces. If you want to see what that looks like, check out the Extreme Channel Instagram, Facebook page, and now TikTok. The link is in the description below. But thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Again, knock out of the park by Prime 1 Studios and Blitzway. Very excited. I will definitely watch the movie this weekend if I can step away from my kids, because it's not a kid-friendly movie. Kind of a heads up on that. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. But throw something down in the comments below to help you potentially win the next prize. Also, drop me a like on the way out. I really appreciate it. And punch that picture of me if you want to see more crap like this. Take care.